Welcome back to the shop, guys. Microphone's in a bad spot. I'll move it a little bit here. There, hopefully that works better. Another video, miscellaneous, me just playing around in the shop. But I'm trying to come up with a name for this. Ox Tools says Monday Night Meatloaf, so I can't use that. You know, meatloaf, miscellaneous things. Messing in the shop, I shouldn't use that. That's Dee's Workshop uses that. And he's too nice of a guy to email me and say, please don't use that name, so I'm not going to use that. I used to call it a buffet. Hodgepodge, Knackler's Workshop uses that. So I think I'm just going to call it Dave's Shop Talk. I did that once a while ago, so in any case, here's a bunch of me playing around in my shop talk. Hope you enjoy. See you next Friday. After the last video discovering that the hole size for air is what makes the difference between propane and acetylene, I'm getting more and more reinforced that I am on to what's important. This is one of those torch handles for that cylinder I was talking about, and you can see the size of these holes are huge. But I finally got around to really looking at this sheet that I showed in the last video that came with that torch handle that I bought. And I'm looking at this picture going, whoa, that is that tip. It's for, oh, the other thing is too, MAPP gas or acetylene for these things here. And this is called a thruster tip. And this is because the holes are small, but they also confirm it over in their pictures here. This is strictly for acetylene. Now it'll be interesting to see if I can get this adapter, because I do have a couple of tanks of MAPP gas to see what happens. But I'm also, and they list all the different tips that you can get, and they go pencil point, screw connect only. I said there's screw connect and the quick disconnect, and you know, your thruster tip acetylene only, thruster tip acetylene. They're showing, oh, you use this tip for silver solder, soft solder, so on. Like, whoa. Fuel usage, they even have that. 1.16 ounces per hour at 25 psi. So they're showing me the pressure of the lines. This is beautiful. And then this set, you know, I've said before, like, maybe I should return it. I said, nah, just keep it, because I can make my own. What did I do? Oh yeah, this one. This is a 1/2 inch 20. I've got tap dies for this. I can make my own tips if I want with the hole sizes. But then I had pulled this one out. This is the one that I had out before. But I'm looking at it going, whoa, the hole is huge. This is for propane. This tip, teeny holes. This is for acetylene. So my dad has tips here for different gases. Holy cow. This one, big holes. This is for propane. So he's got a whole bunch in here too. Oh, this is interesting to look at this one. This is pretty small holes here compared to that torch. And this sucker works. Oh, it might be because they got more holes. This only has 4, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or something like that. So that might be why that works. And also the jet that they have in there, how much of a Venturi effect does it have to suck gas in? So this is interesting, you know. All of these guys here are for propane that he has. Giant, 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 small, and then there's another small one in here. And I should go and check what I have on the torch. Is it small or big? I think it's small, because this is the smallest little tip there is here. But boy, what a discovery. This piece of paper to me is priceless. I went, for instance, I wanted to look at this pencil point SM36, SM38. They've got a set of them on eBay, both 36 and 38 for $55, and that's why I'm thinking, hey, I've got stuff I can copy here. I know the hole sizes, I know what I'm doing, but I would like to try to get into map gas and see what happens with that stuff. This is indeed a blast because it's new. There's something to learn here. It's a challenge. It's great. Sad thing is when I'm gone, all of this knowledge will be gone with me, but whatever. These are still incredibly handy because I can pull, well, first of all, I was wondering, why is this valve so coarse? The slightest crack and tons of gas. Ball bearing with a teeny hole down there. So yeah, you just barely back it up and boom. So I'm up on a ladder going through my dad's stuff with these things. So I know this was, what was this thing? 7/16 20. And it fit one of the air fitting compression nuts or whatever. So clean it up, put it in a lathe, trim it down to the same size as this, and bingo. So I can do this. They've got a plastic washer in here. I can make that to seal the valve. I can make the stem. This was, I forgot what size it is. Oh, I think it was 3/8 24. No, it's not. It's smaller than that. Quarter 28. Whatever it was. I've got the dies and stuff that I can make this stem. Thinking about making the point, make it pretty steep so that you have to back it up quite a bit and it'll give you more air control. I did try some of my dad's spare tips that I showed in here because they have large holes to them and they say Presto Light, which I think is propane, but didn't really get a good flame. And again, it just kept blowing out. You couldn't ignite it because there's too much gas. I turned the regulator down, finally got it lit, but it not all blew. So you can make my own tips, but for now I want to try to restore this. Since I could take the handle off, I took it over to the buffer and cleaned it up quite a bit, buffed it up. Can't get really close to this. I don't want to take the gold off of it, but I could probably repaint it in any case. So this is still loose. I should keep it loose so that I know it's loose. Also in his fittings, I ordered, I think his regulator's leaking. I'm not sure on the tank. That's got this new torch connected to it. So I ordered a new regulator and a conversion from a CGA 200 to CGA 520. And I think this will fit that regulator because it doesn't have, even though it said acetylene, I don't think, oh, it has, this is an A fitting, it has a B fitting, and my hose is A. So, again, learning all of this information here on what's what. Now I can just look at a hose and go, oh yeah, it's a B fitting. Evidently all the welding torches where it's a twin hose, one for oxygen, one for acetylene, they only come with B fittings on them. There is no hose for A, because I'd love to find one, but so off camera, yeah, I'll make a brass knob, I'll make the stem, I can make the bushing that goes in there, and I hopefully will have another torch with very fine tuning, you know. And yeah, they've got a teeny hole down in there. It's square bottom, like they went down in there with an end mill, but whatever. So yeah, and I'm learning with these other ones. This is an oxygen fitting for a regulator. It's like a quarter 20 to their A fitting, which I wrote down on the sheet, all the different thread sizes and pitches and everything. So this is cool. I like this. So again, you know, this is a lot of fun, just learning all this stuff. It's great. And I'd love to get this to work. Oh, I did order the those cylinder bottles that you screw the torch onto. I did order an adapter that'll screw onto it with the valve on it, and gives me a 1/4 output, so I can play with that and see if some of these other tips here were meant for MAP gas. I know they don't work on propane, and I know the propane that comes in those cylinders is pathetic, because you buy the cylinder and within an hour it's empty. If you refill it with the propane from a barbecue tank, I turned the tank over, I got the adapter, you let it go, and you're done. It only push so much into it, you unscrew it, and you can't even feel the propane in the tank, in the cylinder. So it's like barely anything, and it lasts for hours and hours and hours. You just cannot drain it. So propane in a barbecue is completely different than those little stupid bottles that empty in 2 seconds. Some time ago, I had inherited my dad's letter number stamp set. Get that stuff out of here. Good paper. This, you can buy this huge package of it, like 10,000 sheets for a few bucks off Amazon, but soaks up moisture and whatever. It seems to work because these are still good. But the set was, that one's rusted bad. Set was wrapped in paper, totally thrashed, rusted, so I redid all of them, took them to the belt sander, got all the sides cleaned up and oiled and so on, made a nice tray for the stuff. But the problem is trying to hold them straight to stamp something. I mean, inevitably, I know everybody has the same problem. The letters are up or down, they're tilted, it's like you've angled it so you only get half the E or something like that. So I wanted to solve that problem, and so I said, well, let me try to build something, and I came up with this block. Okay, so the block will hold them, keep them from tilting, keep them from going back. I can hold it against it. Spacing is a problem, so I was given the suggestion to use a pin. I actually have another hole for a second pin, and then came up with this guy. Turn it around, you can see a bunch of holes. That's the spacing for the letter. So I can clamp this on whatever I'm going to stamp, and then I can go, you know, first letter. Yeah, it's always a pain getting in the hole there. I can do the first letter, second letter, third letter. I only did a few holes because I'm not going to stamp an entire sentence out. So I tried it out and it works really nice. But the problem is, most of my dad's set, you know, like I said, it was rusted. Some of the letters are really, really pretty bad. So I'm thinking, you know, since I got this kind of under control and I can do some nice stamping, let me go and see what's on Amazon. And lo and behold, made in the USA. I forgot what it was. It was J.W. Hansen or something like that. Where is it? They wouldn't write it. Oh, C.H. Hansen. I think this set was like $48. So I said, well, heck, let me get it, see what happens. I hated that thing because it's so sloppy, the holes and stuff. And they had a nasty grease all over them. So I had to degrease them all, wire brush them all, re-oil them all, and they work nice. They're nice, crisp, very crisp letters, and it fit in the stamp. But the problem is, these guys have this bulge on all four sides. So I had to modify it, you know, mill out a little bit extra on the bottom and the back, and I still need to do something with this edge here so it sits all the way up against the square. But it works. So I was pretty thrilled with that. Like I said, I think this set was $48 or something. This is the 3/16 set. Cool. I like that. I can handle that. So then I said, well, what else do they have? Well, they had another set here. Same company. Oh yeah, on this guy, some of the letters were off. They weren't lining up right. So I ordered another set from Amazon, and I could pick the best ones and then return the one set of messed up letters back to Amazon. So I've got a whole good set. Found another set. This is the 1/8 set. Oh, these are nice. They fit good in the squares. Same oil. Degrease them all, wire brush them all, re-oil them all. Made another thing. Uses this. I need to make one with different spacing because the letters are smaller. And the same bump is on these stupid things. So I now have a smaller set, and I thought that was pretty cool to do that with. So I now have 2 sets for the drawer, and since I said I rearranged a bunch of stuff, I have empty drawers. Well, what the heck? They had another set, 1/16, teeny things, and degrease wire brush, re-oil them all. I like this set. They're really small. They just happen to fit the same thing, same size, same dumb bump, but I'll have to make 2 more of these, one for this set and another spacing for this set. But I like this set a lot. I was surprised. And it wasn't sold, it was sold on Amazon, but not ships from or sold by Amazon. And I figured I'd better buy it before it disappears because nobody else has it. You can find all of these on eBay or Amazon, not this set. Again, this is the 1/16 set, really small. So I have 3 sets, and I found a marker that after you stamp, you smear the marker on it, and it wipes right off and leaves the letters nice and black. It works beautiful. So I just thought I'd share what I've been doing here with this stuff. Alright, man, this project just keeps getting better and better by the minute. Alright, so I cut the 2 slots, and I cut them so that this guy was poking up like 10 thou on both of them. Then I came to the point where, okay, now I need to make some kind of a retaining clip for them. But when I stood this up and put this up against it, it's like, wait a minute, that's holding them. So I had to go back to the mill, refine all the edges, go down another 10 thou. So now these guys are just below the surface. So I can easily now put it in there, done, and it holds it. So I can whack it. It's got a little bit of play this way, but that's perfect. So that's solved. Now, the next thing is, you guys saw I was going to use that flat bar to index this thing. And I had asked Dee's Workshop for any suggestions, and he said, yeah, pins. Oh, duh. If you guys haven't subscribed to him, go find Dee's Workshop. The guy is new, but he does things a lot differently. He's a very clever guy. So I've already cut, this is a shaft out of a DVD drive. I've cut them off. I plan on going in 2/1000ths and have it poke out 1 thou. So I just have to clean up the edge that I cut off to deburr it, and I'll pound that in. So the drill bit would fit these perfect. It should be a press fit if I don't have a whole lot of wobble. In either case, I can just Loctite it in place. Reamer 3mm for this end, so that it should just make it slip right in. So I just need to do this part now, and then I just about done, right? Yeah, huh. Crazy stuff. Okay, well, let me go and drill some holes, I guess, maybe do some math on doing the metal stamps, some of the stuff that I've figured out, getting closer to more perfection. One thing is, you cannot stamp on anything wood, the bench or anything. Probably the concrete slab works, but I'm using a very heavy chunk of steel. I'll put the material on it, C-clamp that spacing bar on it, and whack. The other thing is, you cannot use a heavy hammer. This is a no. One whack and it's deeper than all get out. So I'm using this hammer. the brass end. It's pretty light, just one little whack, and it seems to work on both, like the E's, which have a lot of letters, a lot of surface area to penetrate, and the T or the I, which has very little, so it's very consistent. I'll put this up so you guys can see it. The bottom, again, was just done with one tap with a little hammer. That's the, I think that's the 3/16 or whatever I said it was. The top letters are the little 1/16 set. And you can see it kind of embeds and mushrooms the aluminum out to the side. This is the pen that I was talking about on Amazon, OWDEN. I just smear it on there, wipe it off with a paper towel, and you saw kind of how it looks and how it came out. So force seems to be the one hurdle that I still have to overcome. On the one that was up on the screen, you can see, I don't know why the bottom of the 4 didn't come out. Also looks like it's a little bit, yeah, it's higher than the other letters. So I still have some work to do on that jig to make it better, especially since there's those weird bumps on all of the stamps that I have to clear. So I just wanted to share that and let you guys know kind of what I'm doing and what kind of success I'm having. Last but not least, I'll share a couple more books here from my bookshelf. This is the Machining Handbook, Volume 3 that I talked about from Metals Handbook. Great book. It's not, this is the 8th edition. It's not as thick as the other one. This, you know, conversion charts, indexes. How many pages is this thing? It is around, come on, 508, 510. Went pretty far. But it is a very good reference book. It came in there. And we still have all of the, ooh, they don't have all the volumes listed here. And this one was, I think this was 69. Covers everything, turning, tree panning, splices, cutting tool materials. Gives you all the angles in here if you want to make your own cutting tools, turning tools, and so on. Ton of contributors here, everybody under the sun, but nothing has really changed, you know, in 20 years or 30 years or whatever, especially since the first lathe was invented in, what was it, 1708 or 1710, something like that. Turning, they show you everything in here. I mean, it's incredible, all the different stuff, boring stuff, making jigs and different things like that for facing and shaping and all that junk. So I just kind of wanted to share that. Same way with drilling, small hole drilling, micro drilling. I mean, I've referred to this quite a few times for different particular jobs and things I was doing. So, Metals Handbook, again, eBay, if you can find it. This one's volume 3. The next book that I'll share, where can I put this over here, is, yeah, if you're into machining, the Machinery's Handbook. This is a must-have. This is all the industry standards for everything there is out there. And yes, it is very thin pages. It's a pain trying to turn it, but it covers all the gears, drill speeds, cutting speeds, milling speeds, tool shapes, everything is in here. I can't really show too much of it, really. Ball bearings, all the standards, angles, lengths. I mean, it just goes on and on. And it is now, how many pages? Geez, 2,423, and it still goes 74. 2,474 pages. And that funky, one page is like kind of tweaked a little bit. That funky drawer that's in the middle of a Gershner tool chest was made specifically to hold this book, but unfortunately the book is some 2,000 more pages than it was, so it's thicker. How many pages did I say? Oh, 2,000. So now, I don't know how many more. I mean, if that probably would fit. So this is what, 2,000 to, there's 400 more pages here. Hey, man, for being thin, I'm surprised it's 400 more pages. Well, just wanted to share that. This is another must-have industrial press, 21st edition. I think there's later ones, and I like the hardback ones. You can get it a lot cheaper in paperback, softback.